You know what fascinates me? The way people obsess over upgrading gadgets, cars, and wardrobes, but rarely think about upgrading the very instrument that creates their world, their own voice. Not just the sound of it, but the energy, rhythm, and belief that lives behind every phrase. Florence Scovel Shinn once said that your words are your wand, and most people, without realizing it, are casting spells of limitation all day long. They speak defeat before they ever step onto the field of possibility. They say things like, "That always happens to me," or "Nothing ever works out." And the universe, patient and obedient, simply nods and delivers more of the same. Imagine you had a friend who wrote down everything you said and then made it true in your life. Every complaint, every fear, every casual, "I can't." You'd probably be a lot more careful with your vocabulary. That's what this unseen energy does. It doesn't analyze or judge. It reflects. When you mutter, "I never have enough," it believes you mean it. When you say, "I'm lucky in every way," it believes that too. The words are neutral, but their vibration isn't. Each one has its own frequency, a subtle tone that either builds the bridge to abundance or walls you off from it. Florence understood this decades before neuroscience started proving it. She taught that the subconscious mind is literal. It takes your word as law. Tell it you're thriving, and it gets to work finding proof. Tell it you're doomed, and it dutifully collects evidence for that instead. She wasn't preaching blind optimism. She was giving humanity a technology of creation. Your statements are blueprints, and the universe is the builder. Let's get real for a second. We've all tried affirmations that felt fake, the kind where you stare into the mirror repeating something your gut doesn't believe. That happens because you're trying to paint over fear instead of transforming it. The words alone aren't enough. It's the consciousness behind them that moves mountains. The point isn't to chant wealth while you secretly panic about bills. It's to speak words that align with faith, not fear. Faith is quiet, certain, and generous. Fear is loud, doubtful, and stingy. Which one do you think writes a better script for your life? Think of your daily speech as emotional bookkeeping. Every "I can't afford it" is an expense. Every "I'm open to new possibilities" is a deposit. Over time, your emotional bank statement reveals your true investments. Florence used to say that people try to make money without changing their words, and that's like trying to plant roses in sand. You'll never get the bloom you want from barren soil. The transformation begins when your tongue becomes an ally to your vision. Picture yourself standing at a cosmic counter placing an order. The waiter, the universe, doesn't improvise. It delivers exactly what you request. If you order "a day full of stress," guess what shows up piping hot? If you order "opportunities that delight and surprise me," that's what's prepared for you. Most people don't realize they're placing orders all day long, and then they complain about the menu. Let's pull this down from the clouds and make it tangible. Suppose you wake up tomorrow and instead of sighing, "Ugh, another long day," you whisper, "Today I expect something wonderful." That tiny sentence shifts your frequency. It tells your mind to start scanning the horizon for evidence of wonder. Maybe you notice a compliment, an unexpected refund, a beautiful sunrise. None of those things are coincidences. They're responses. Language is the magnet, and attention is the metal it attracts. You might be thinking, "That sounds poetic, but I've got real problems." I hear you. Florence heard the same objections a century ago. Her students would ask, "How can I speak abundance when my pockets are empty?" And she would smile and remind them that abundance begins in imagination, not in balance sheets. Words spoken in faith plant invisible seeds. You don't dig up a seed every day to see if it's growing. You water it with expectation. Here's the part most people skip. You have to notice your habitual phrases. Just becoming aware is revolutionary. Spend one day listening to yourself as if you were eavesdropping on your own life. Don't judge. Just observe. How often do you use words like hard, struggle, never, or impossible? Each of those is like a lock on the door of potential. The moment you spot them, you're already loosening their grip. Let me tell you a story. A woman once told Florence she couldn't find work. Florence asked, "What words have you been using?" The woman confessed she'd been saying, "There are no opportunities for me." Florence replied, "Then that's the decree you've been living under. Replace it." The woman began affirming, "I'm always led to the right work at the right time." Within weeks, she found a position that matched her perfectly. Nothing mystical, just a shift in vibration caused by spoken certainty. That's the essence of this teaching. It's not about pretending or forcing cheerfulness. It's about recognizing that speech is creative. Every phrase is a command to your subconscious and an invitation to the universe. Florence called it the law of expectancy. What you prepare for with your words is what appears. Now imagine if, for the next month, you became a master of verbal energy. You'd begin to sense which words drain you and which ones fill you with power. You'd speak about opportunities instead of obstacles. You'd describe your finances as improving instead of collapsing. You'd talk about your body as healing instead of aging. Each statement would be a step on solid ground instead of quicksand. The truth is, language is currency. Some people spend it on complaints. Others invest it in creation. And here's the beautiful irony. It costs nothing to speak differently, but the return can transform your life. You just have to decide which words deserve to leave your mouth. Florence Scovel Shinn once wrote, "Your word is your wand, and with it you can carve out whatever you will." If you truly grasped that, you'd guard your speech like a treasure chest. You'd stop using words that bruise your own soul. Because at the end of the day, it's not the world that limits you. It's the conversation you're having with it. So as you breathe right now, ask yourself quietly, what have I been ordering from the universe with my words? And more importantly, what am I ready to order next? Here's the paradox most people never notice. The universe doesn't speak English, Spanish, or any other human language. It speaks vibration. And vibration is shaped by your words. Each syllable carries an energetic signature, an emotional charge that either expands or contracts your possibilities. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this long before manifestation became a trendy word. She taught that your outer world is an echo of your inner conversation. You could change your wardrobe, your friends, your job, but unless you change your speech, you'll keep drawing the same patterns in new disguises. When someone says, "I'm always unlucky," they're not describing life, they're programming it. The subconscious mind hears that declaration as a command and goes searching for proof. It's not about superstition. It's psychology. Your words are cues for your brain's filter system, what scientists call the reticular activating system, to decide what's worth noticing. Say, "I never get opportunities," and your brain will literally ignore evidence of opportunity. Say, "I attract opportunity easily," and your attention starts tuning into paths, people, and ideas you previously missed. The mechanism is invisible, but the results are unmistakable. Florence often told her students that the universe is not stingy, it's exact. It mirrors what you believe to be true. If you speak as though you're trapped, you remain trapped. Speak as though you're expanding, and life rearranges itself to fit that expectation. It's not magic. It's alignment. Think of yourself as a radio transmitter. If you're broadcasting on the frequency of scarcity, you'll never pick up the song of prosperity. The dial is your language. So how do you shift the dial? The first step is rephrasing limitation into ownership. Instead of saying, "I can't buy that," say, "That's not where I'm choosing to invest today." That subtle shift moves you from victimhood to authority. You're no longer helpless. You're deliberate. Florence used to describe this as speaking from dominion. You are not begging the universe. You are commanding with grace. You don't demand from ego. You declare from truth. Try another example. Replace "I'm broke" with "My financial flow is expanding every day." Replace "I'm sick of struggling" with "I'm learning new ways to prosper." One statement repeats the past. The other opens the future. Florence said that faith is like Wi-Fi. You can't see it, but when you're connected, the signal is undeniable. Your words are the password. Let's be honest. Change feels strange at first. You might catch yourself mid-sentence saying, "Money never stays with me," then pause and correct it to, "I handle money wisely and it multiplies in my hands." At that moment, you're rewiring your neural circuits. You're creating new pathways for abundance to travel. The mind resists at first because it's addicted to the familiar. But every time you choose a higher phrase, you train it to accept prosperity as the new normal. Now let's talk about gratitude, the real kind, not the forced smile you give when you're afraid to complain. Gratitude is not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about recognizing flow. Florence used to write gratitude lists before bed, not as a ritual of manners, but as a way of telling her subconscious, we live in a giving universe. Instead of saying, "I'm grateful for what little I have," say, "I'm grateful that life continues to surprise me with generosity." Specific gratitude magnifies abundance because it directs your awareness toward expansion, not scarcity. And here's something no one talks about. You have to stop bonding over lack. So many friendships are built around mutual complaining, about money, the economy, the government, the bills. But every time you join the chorus of complaint, you water the weeds instead of the garden. Florence once advised a student to keep silent about lack until you can speak about plenty. That advice remains golden. You can acknowledge a challenge without glorifying it. When someone says, "Everything's getting expensive," you can reply, "True, but it's amazing how many creative ways there are to earn and grow right now." You just shifted the tone of the entire conversation. This is the moment in our talk where I want you to do something powerful, something small but magnetic. If this message resonates with you, take a deep breath and think of one phrase you'll no longer say. Maybe it's "I can't," or "I'm unlucky," or "I'm just surviving." Choose it, release it, and mentally replace it with a declaration that empowers you. Now, if you're feeling this transformation, I'd love for you to be part of our community here. Subscribe to the channel so we can walk this journey together. Florence Scovel Shinn's wisdom isn't just philosophy, it's a living art, and together we can revive it. And since words are energy, let's make them interactive. Leave a comment sharing one empowering phrase you're adopting from this moment on. It could be as simple as, "Money loves to find me," or "I'm aligned with divine success." Don't overthink it. Speak from your heart. When you write it down, you're anchoring it in your reality. Plus, you'll inspire others who read your words and feel the spark too. Let's make the comment section a river of abundance affirmations instead of a pool of complaints. The act of speaking faith and typing faith both carry energy. That's why I always remind people that the spoken word is sound, and sound creates structure. In nature, sound waves can form patterns in water, sand, even cells. Your voice does the same with your life. It organizes chaos into clarity. Florence called this the alchemy of speech, the transformation of invisible thought into tangible experience. You don't have to be spiritual to use it. You just have to be conscious. You've probably noticed how some people seem naturally lucky. Things flow to them. Doors open easily. It's rarely luck. It's language. They've practiced expectancy for so long that it became instinct. You can develop that instinct too. Start with the tiniest moments. When someone compliments you, say, "Thank you, I receive that fully." When an unexpected bill arrives, instead of panicking, say, "I bless this payment because it circulates and returns multiplied." It may sound odd at first, but you're retraining your emotional reflexes. You're teaching yourself that everything is part of a larger flow rather than a fight for survival. And that's the secret Florence left us. Life isn't meant to be wrestled with, it's meant to be directed. Your words are the rudder, your beliefs the wind. Together they steer your ship. You can't always control the waves, but you can absolutely choose the direction you're sailing. Let's go even deeper into this idea that your speech is creative power. Every phrase you release carries the weight of authority, whether you're conscious of it or not. The moment your lips move, something unseen begins to organize itself around the vibration you've sent out. Florence Scovel Shinn used to call this the law of non-resistance. Whatever you allow to leave your mouth without correction becomes a decree in the invisible. The universe doesn't pause to ask if you really meant it. It simply echoes your words. So when you say, "I'm exhausted by money problems," life replies, "As you wish." When you say, "I am divinely guided toward solutions," life says, "As you wish," too. The law doesn't discriminate. It reflects. This is why your inner tone matters even more than your outer performance. You can recite the most beautiful affirmation in the world, but if you do it with tension, sarcasm, or disbelief, the vibration you're transmitting is still lack. Florence said faith doesn't need theatrics. It's a calm knowing. It's the quiet confidence that the invisible is already working on your behalf. When you speak from that place, your words have authority. They no longer sound like wishes. They sound like truth in motion. Here's a practical way to train that kind of language. Begin every morning by catching your first thought about the day. Before you even check your phone or look at your reflection, notice what sentence runs through your mind. If it's heavy, something like, "I'm already tired," you have an opportunity right there to pivot. Replace it with, "Today unfolds perfectly for me." That one line sets your emotional temperature. It's the difference between beginning the day with fog or with sunrise. Now, let's talk about the resistance you might feel. You might think, "But I don't want to pretend. I don't want to lie to myself." And you're right. This isn't about pretending. It's about telling the deeper truth that exists beyond current appearances. Florence reminded us that appearances are just temporary pictures. Words shape the next picture. When you say, "I'm thriving," you're not denying struggle, you're declaring the outcome. It's a shift from narration to creation. One of her most famous students used to keep a notebook labeled, "My Spoken Wealth." Every time she caught herself about to speak negatively, she paused and rewrote the sentence in her notebook before saying it aloud. For instance, "I'll never pay off this debt," became, "Divine supply cancels this debt in perfect timing." Within 6 months, opportunities appeared, an unexpected tax refund, a side project, a bonus, that wiped out what had seemed impossible. She didn't chant magic words. She trained her mouth to align with divine order. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that prosperity is not earned. It's aligned with. That means you don't have to chase it. It's already present, waiting for your agreement. Your agreement is expressed through your language. Every time you speak in harmony with abundance, you're saying, "Yes, I'm available for that." Every time you complain, you're saying, "No, I'll pass." The universe listens either way. Here's an image that helps. Picture your words as keys. Each one fits a specific door. When you say, "Everything works out for me," you're unlocking a door of flow. When you say, "Nothing ever goes right," you're locking it. The door itself doesn't care which key you use. It simply responds to the one that fits. Once you see this, you'll start choosing your keys with devotion. Let's explore another layer, what I call the silence between words. Florence often said that our quiet moments matter even more than our declarations because they reveal our underlying belief. When you say, "I'm wealthy," and then spend the next 10 minutes silently worrying about bills, your inner conversation cancels your outer one. To change your results, you must bring the silence into agreement with the speech. How? Through repetition, awareness, and faith. You gently train your mind to rest in expectancy instead of fear. Over time, the gap between your declarations and your emotions closes, and your words gain magnetic strength. Now imagine someone who speaks this new language fluently. They don't boast or force positivity, they simply radiate certainty. When something unexpected happens, they don't say, "Why me?" They say, "This is redirecting me to something greater." That single shift changes the trajectory of their life. They might lose one opportunity but soon discover a better one that never could have fit the old version of themselves. That's how the law works. It reorganizes reality to match your speech and belief. Florence loved to use metaphors. She'd say, "Words are soldiers sent out to bring back victory or defeat." When I first read that, I realized how carelessly I had been sending out my own soldiers. Complaints, doubts, self-deprecating jokes. They were marching out every day and faithfully returning with exactly what I had ordered. Once I understood that, I stopped joking about my limitations. I replaced "I'm terrible with money" with "I'm learning mastery over my finances." The results didn't show up overnight, but the energy around me changed instantly. Conversations shifted, opportunities appeared, and even my posture felt stronger. Florence's teachings prove that you can't hold scarcity in your mouth and expect abundance in your hands. The two frequencies don't mix. You can't bless and curse the same situation and expect clarity. Decide which language is yours. Decide which energy deserves your loyalty. And then commit. You'll know it's working when your environment begins to echo your speech. People will start using your phrases, mimicking your calm confidence. It's contagious because it's truth in action. You might wonder, isn't this just psychology? Partly, yes. Modern science calls it cognitive reframing. But Florence would smile and say, science is finally catching up to spirit. What you think, speak, and expect determines what you perceive, and what you perceive becomes your lived experience. That's not superstition. That's simple cause and effect operating at the level of consciousness. So here's what I want you to practice this week. Choose one area of your life that feels restricted. It might be money, health, relationships, or creative flow. Then, write 5 sentences that describe that area as already healed, already abundant, already flowing. Speak those sentences daily, out loud, with conviction. Don't worry if it feels awkward at first. You're not performing, you're calibrating. Every repetition is you carving a new groove in your energetic record. Before long, the new melody plays automatically. Florence Scovel Shinn once said, "No man can fail if he gives speech to his faith." That single sentence could rewrite your entire future. You were never meant to stumble through life repeating someone else's limitations. You were designed to declare your divine inheritance with certainty and grace. There's a beautiful truth hidden beneath everything Florence Scovel Shinn ever wrote. The understanding that the universe is not a judge, it's a mirror. It doesn't reward the good or punish the bad. It simply reflects back the energy you project through your words, emotions, and expectations. The mirror doesn't choose the image, it just shows what's in front of it. That's why language is so sacred. It paints the reflection you live inside. You can't expect the mirror to smile if you're frowning at it. Likewise, you can't expect prosperity while constantly declaring poverty. So many people think abundance is about luck, connections, or timing, but Florence taught something radically simpler. It's about agreement. The moment you agree with lack, you see more lack. The moment you agree with abundance, life begins to reorganize around that frequency. Your words are the signatures of that agreement. When you say, "I'm open to infinite good," the universe signs the contract. When you say, "Nothing ever works for me," the same contract is sealed, but under a very different clause. Let's talk about complaint language. Every time you complain, you rehearse limitation. You strengthen it like a muscle. If you constantly say, "Everything's getting worse," the universe hears your rehearsal and sends you more reasons to confirm it. But when you say, "I'm guided toward solutions," you begin to rewire your perception to look for possibilities. Florence used to advise people to turn every complaint into a declaration. So if you catch yourself saying, "The bills keep piling up," correct it to, "I always find creative ways to meet every obligation easily." The statement may not match your current bank account, but it matches your divine potential. And that's what matters most. You might think this sounds small, but small phrases build entire worlds. Your home, your work, your relationships, they all vibrate to the tone of your habitual speech. Change the tone, and the harmony shifts. Florence believed that prosperity doesn't come to you, it comes through you. It flows in response to your inner dialogue. If your thoughts are crowded with worry, you block the stream. But when your words are peaceful, confident, and full of expectancy, you clear the channel. Now let's speak about the language of receiving. This is where so many people unknowingly reject abundance. Someone says, "You look amazing today," And instead of receiving it, you deflect with, "Oh, it's just this old outfit." Or someone offers help and you say, "No, I couldn't possibly." Every rejection of kindness is a declaration of unworthiness. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that accepting graciously is a spiritual practice. When you say, "Thank you, I receive that," you're not just accepting a compliment, you're signaling to life itself that you're ready to receive more. Try this. The next time something good happens, no matter how small, say out loud, "I welcome this and more." That phrase tells the universe you're open, that you've released resistance. Gratitude closes the old chapter. Receptivity opens the next one. If you do this consistently, you'll notice how synchronicities increase. Opportunities begin to find you instead of you chasing them. People start mentioning your name in the right rooms, and resources flow from unexpected places. That's not coincidence. That's resonance. Florence was clear that receiving is as holy as giving. To refuse a gift is to insult the giver. And the giver, in this case, is the universe itself. When you gracefully accept help, compliments, and even wealth, you allow the cosmic circulation of good to keep moving. Stopping the flow by guilt or false humility only creates stagnation. So practice receiving as a spiritual art. Say yes more often. Let good things land without disclaimers. That's what an abundant heart sounds like. Now let's touch on one of Florence's most profound lessons, the discipline of silence. She believed that power grows in quiet assurance. When you're tempted to speak fear, pause. Let the silence hold the vibration instead. The unspoken word still carries potential, but it doesn't yet create form. Silence is the space where you can choose again before declaring something unhelpful. The wise don't fill every void with chatter, they wait until their words can build. And this brings us to consistency. You can't transform your world with one weekend of inspired affirmations. Just like you don't build a strong body in a single workout, you don't build a prosperous mindset in a single day. Florence said, "Repetition impresses the subconscious." Every day you speak abundance, you carve new grooves in your consciousness until prosperity becomes your default frequency. And when that happens, miracles seem ordinary, because they are simply the natural outcome of alignment. There will be moments when your old language tries to return. You'll catch yourself saying, "I can't," or "I'm worried." Don't fight it. Simply stop, smile, and correct. Florence called that speaking the word in spite of appearances. The power lies in your calm persistence. Eventually, the new words will feel more real than the old ones because they carry the vibration of truth, while fear only mimics it. And here's something powerful. Abundant language doesn't just change how you feel. It changes how people respond to you. When you speak with certainty and peace, others sense it. They feel safe in your presence. They want to collaborate, invest, and share opportunities with you. You become magnetic, not because you're manipulating energy, but because you're radiating coherence. Florence called this the divine attractor state. You don't chase, you draw in. Now, pause for a moment and take this in. Your words today are the blueprint for your next 6 months. Every sentence is a line in that design. Are you building a palace of peace or a maze of struggle? You get to decide with every breath. Florence Scovel Shinn gave humanity a simple compass. Speak only that which you wish to see. It's deceptively simple, but it's the foundation of every transformation story you've ever heard. Florence Scovel Shinn believed that prosperity wasn't a prize you win at the end of struggle. It was a melody that had always been playing beneath the noise of doubt. The challenge was never about earning abundance, but tuning yourself to hear it. And the tuning fork, she said, was the word. Every sentence you speak either sharpens or distorts your vibration. That's why people who complain constantly seem to attract more chaos. They're tuned to static. But when you begin to use words that vibrate with confidence, gratitude, and peace, the static fades and the melody of prosperity grows louder. There's something liberating about realizing this. You no longer need to wait for luck, approval, or timing. You can begin right now, in the middle of your current circumstances, to speak as if life is already on your side. Because it is. Florence's most repeated phrase was, "The game of life is a game of boomerangs. What you send out returns." That's not philosophy. It's physics of the soul. Your thoughts and words go out like arrows and circle back multiplied. The wise send out faith, joy, and expectancy, knowing they'll return wrapped in golden form. So how do you live this daily? You start by slowing down your speech. You become intentional about what leaves your mouth. When you speak, you're shaping clay, and every word is permanent in the invisible. Speak beauty, and beauty appears. Speak lack, and it arrives just as faithfully. Florence used to remind her students to speak victory before you see it, because speech is the seed, not the harvest. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Soon, you won't even have to think about it. Abundance will be your native tongue. Let's imagine a simple day lived in that vibration. You wake up and instead of saying, "I'm so tired," you whisper, "I'm grateful for this fresh energy flowing through me." You look at your bills and say, "Money circulates freely and returns multiplied." You face a challenge and declare, "Everything is unfolding for my highest good." You accept a compliment with a smile and say, "Thank you, I receive that fully." None of these phrases are fantasy. They are recalibrations. They remind your nervous system that life is supportive, not hostile. They turn ordinary moments into portals of transformation. One of Florence's overlooked teachings was about neutrality. She said the key to manifesting was to stop reacting with fear and start responding with trust. When something unwanted shows up, you don't deny it, but you also don't worship it. You simply declare, "This too shall pass, and something better is already on the way." That statement holds power because it breaks the chain of panic. It allows divine intelligence to reorganize your situation without interference. The universe doesn't need you to struggle. It just needs your permission to deliver. And your permission is granted through peaceful words. Let's talk about the collective aspect of this. When you begin to speak from abundance, you uplift everyone who hears you. Your vibration becomes a healing frequency. People start leaving conversations with you feeling lighter, more hopeful, more confident, even if they can't explain why. Florence believed that every individual who learns the language of truth contributes to the healing of the entire world. You don't have to stand on a stage or hold a title. Your living room can become a temple when your speech carries light. And that's why community matters. When you surround yourself with others who speak from faith instead of fear, you strengthen your own vibration. It's easier to stay abundant when the people around you are also choosing that path. So before we close, I want to invite you, not as a follower, but as a friend in this journey, to be part of this growing circle of Florence Scovel Shinn's students of truth. If this message has touched you, subscribe so we can keep exploring together. This isn't about algorithms or numbers. It's about a community learning to speak miracles into motion. But don't just subscribe. Participate. Leave a comment sharing what part of this message resonated most with you, or tell us a story of how changing your words has changed your life. Maybe you caught yourself speaking from fear and shifted it to faith. Maybe you noticed a synchronicity after choosing gratitude. These stories aren't small. They're proof that the law is alive and working. And your story might be the one that lifts someone else out of doubt today. Florence used to end her lessons with a blessing, and I'd like to pass that energy forward to you now. May your words become instruments of peace. May every sentence you speak plant seeds of success, harmony, and joy. May your speech align so completely with divine order that miracles feel ordinary and fear feels foreign. Remember, you don't need to convince the universe of your worthiness, only to agree with it. The universe has already decided in your favor. It's just waiting for your voice to match its verdict. So from this moment forward, speak like the architect of your destiny. Speak with reverence, as if your words shape galaxies, because they do. Speak the way Florence Scovel Shinn taught, with love, clarity, and absolute trust that the unseen is already working for you. And when doubt tries to whisper otherwise, answer it calmly with a smile. Divine order is unfolding perfectly for me. Because it is. It always has been. And now that you know the power resting in your own tongue, it always will be.